Coming up, a way to solve tech neck, steampunk dinos rise from 3D printers, and a water bottle that might just convince me to drink water. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast. Of course, I am Ktdata, and finally back from the depths of all projects and whatnot is the one Drew Tyler. Welcome back, Drew. I missed you.
Thank you. I've only surfaced just enough for this, so I'm still in the depth of all projects and pieces. Happy to be here.
I mean, I love having Tom and all being on the show as a guest host, but it just doesn't feel right when you're not around.
It's been a month. I feel like I've missed out on like your whole life. You've changed jobs. You've probably got married and have 4 kids. I mean, things have changed.
Yeah, and my voice is like 4 octaves lower now. So
I'm surprised. Yeah. I was like, man,
I hit puberty, Drew. I hit puberty.
Dude, when you answered the Skype call, I was thinking that. I was like, finally, thanks. Kevin's in it. All right. Happy to be here.
All right. So if you guys have never seen an episode of the KickCast before, you're missing out for one thing. And this is the show for crowdfunding projects. So what Drew and I do is we go out, find really cool projects on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and other sites like that, and we come and feature them. And before we jump into our projects of the night, let's look at some news, shall we? So our first news item is this website called ShopLocket. So there's always been this problem where after you actually do get a successful crowdfunding project, people are like, so can I still get on that, or are you going to have to like wait on there? So ShopLocket is essentially a website that's kind of trying to fill that in-between gap right there. So they set up a pre-order system, and it looks like it's fairly easily to set up and integrate onto your site, and you're able to make a cart and whatnot. And what's interesting about this is they're not using Amazon Payments or PayPal. They're using, I think it's Slice as a payment processor.
Oh.
So you don't even need to make an account on there. The Slice might not be a name that's familiar to a lot of people, but what Slice does is that they're a credit transaction place, and they you can take credit cards and whatnot directly with them.
Wait, Slice or Stripe?
Or Stripe. Yeah, not Slice. Stripe. So
yeah, totally.
And as far as I know it, I don't sell things online, but a lot of online retailers use them. So I think it's a great idea, and that way you don't have to build your own systems. Because I know the Pebble guys, they built their own system, so that takes resources out of developing them. The Locatron guys, they built their own system from scratch and didn't even go through Kickstarter. So they're aiming at both of those markets where you have this platform that you can use and you don't have to build it from scratch, which of course takes resources. And if you're already on Kickstarter, you probably don't have too many resources to work with.
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's ShopLocket. And our only other news item that we have right now, other than that the KickCast is not federally funded, and that's why this show is still going on, is that...
Duly noted. Wait. Are we funded at all? Because I don't know. Checks would just keep coming in.
Yeah, if you count those Cheetos that I can send you like once a month, that's...
Cheetos. I'm rocking bottle caps today.
That's an upgrade. Sugar now.
Yeah, good.
Is that Kit Hickley of Ministry of Supply? They actually were one of like the top design or clothing crowdfunding projects out there. Wrote an article for guest blog at VentureBeat on what they learned after the crowdfunding project. Because people think like, oh, you're gonna be like super successful now after the crowdfunding project. And he kind of writes a lot like it's not all sunshine and roses and happily ever afters after that. I love this line that he puts on it. It's like he writes that Kickstarter was an accelerator for us, but it doesn't guarantee success. You know, even after you get your product out, you gotta still be trying to get new customers and everything, and not entirely relying on the same kind of people to keep your business afloat. You got to keep going. The business still goes on. And then he talks about some of these points about what he learned, and I actually liked a lot of them. Like, be transparent along every step of your project. That's a big one in my opinion, just because I've seen these projects. Sometimes they just get super big. They are way over their heads, and they kind of have modified plans, so they miss deadlines and whatnot. People kind of get angry about that. But if you keep transparent, that's one thing that's really good to keep people interested, and they're a lot more supportive. When they feel like they're along for the ride and just not waiting for
Right.
messages.
I remember like several that I've backed, Space Monkey and the Krabby Wallet. Things have been pushed by a month or two, but it's because every other week or so there's a quick note that comes out that says, "Here's our update. We've got this held us up, but we're moving forward on this." I mean, yeah, just that transparency has helped a ton.
Yeah, and there's other interesting things like, and honestly, I think some of this is just good for general business. One of them's hire people who can do jobs better than you can. They ran into this issue where they got so big and there's only three guys. None of them really are, they haven't run a big business before, and they now have to be experts in logistics, in
Right.
marketing, and everything. And they found,
Shipping and
yeah.
yeah, yep.
And these guys lucked out because they managed to hire the former head of marketing from Zappos on there to help
Oh,
them out, and
how nice.
that helped keep their company afloat on there. And this is another one, and you probably know this, Drew, as working freelance with people, is build deep and meaningful relationships with your early customers, so they'll keep coming back on
Yeah.
there. And it kind of goes back to that being transparent too, because you probably get gigs from people who you've done jobs from years ago with.
Tons. Yep, tons. I still, in fact, I just did a little one. I did a website for a guy that I did his acting demo reel like 6 years ago, and I've done like four things. Every other year he comes back. So yes, absolutely.
So make sure you guys check out that article, because I think it's a great kind of resource and information that you can kind of tap in, even if you're not running a crowdfunding project. I know I'm going to take some of these and keep that in the back of my mind when I'm working on things. All right, Drew, let's kind of finally jump into our first project right here. So I know you love using your iPad, you love
I
using your
do.
phone. You're like connected. I'm connected. I mean, my phone's right here, and you probably see this in your classes too, where they're
Oh,
supposed to be paying attention to you, but then you look over and they're just
I,
like
I
this.
I teach in a lab too, so everybody has IMAX in front of them, and so I've got to wander down the center row and turn around, and I watch all the screens quickly change from like Facebook or whatever else they're dinking on to be like, "Oh, you're listening to me now? Okay,
What
yes."
you should do is just turn on all the eyesights and just stare at them. But so the problem with that is that your neck is bent and you're like crouched over. I mean, I've been on the plane before where I'm doing things on my iPad and I get out. I'm like, oh crap, what's going on? Why is my neck hurting? It's because you're bending down trying to look at it. And this first project right here is called the I-90 glasses, and it's
Clever.
their attempt to build a pair of tablet glasses. So I mean, we've had reading glasses and whatnot before. Now we can have tablet glasses that where what happens is there's a prism that's actually built into these lenses, and it refracts the image 90 degrees, so you can look straight forward, and then it will reflect whatever you have in your hands at a 90-degree angle, so you can see it, so you don't have to bend down. And I love this little stick figure demographic right here,
Yeah,
where
get
you're
a tech neck.
yeah, your neck is straight, your arms are out, and you're feeling comfortable. Because I find ergonomics is super super important these days. After sitting in front of a computer all day, you're like, yes, this is important. I kind of love this. How about you just have your kids wear these, Drew?
I
Instead,
know, like just so they pretend to be looking at me. I can at
yeah.
least see. I can at least see faces, even if they have these glasses on.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of like them. It's a simple idea, and I'm surprised there hasn't been many other people who've done this before. Um, and if you're flying on a plane, I think that would be really helpful. Um, it's kind of simple. Though my only drawback is, as you can see, I wear glasses normally, so
Hmm.
that may be a problem to wear two pairs of glasses on there. But I can work away. I can put in contacts if I really need to be in the long run and whatnot. I kind of like the idea. What do you think of it, Drew?
I'm interested. I find it because I am constantly tableting or phoning or something. Throwing a pair of these on and being able to keep my head back in the seat. I guess whether it's on a plane or even in the office or at home on the couch. Um,
Don't do it while you're driving, guys.
right, right. I don't know. I think I would like. I wouldn't mind trying a pair, and for me, and just thinking like aftermarket and when they are, um, I don't know what they're looking at here. Almost like $75. I have a hard time dropping more than $10 on a pair of sunglasses that I use, 4 or 5 times a day while I'm driving. So I'll track this one myself. I'll track. I like the idea. I'm wondering if it can, be done cheaper after they get sort of the early adopters. I don't know.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, on the KitCast, Drew and I, we have this handy rating system,
I totally jumped it. I'm sorry.
which is a backtrack or sack on there. And so back is pretty straightforward, do it, and sack is pretty straightforward too. Don't do it. And track is kind of follow along, chip in a few bucks if you really want to. I'd have to say track on this too because the glasses look a little bit dorky, but they're really functional. So I think people will get over the fact on there. But hey, all glasses kind of look dorky, to be honest with you, on there. The price, to be honest with you, is not that much to me because I'm one of those crazy people who actually have, I don't have them with me, but I have multiple pairs of those computer glasses around when I'm wearing contacts.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's a placebo or something. I think they work. So yeah, uh, that and I know how expensive real glasses actually cost. So they're that's cheap. And I think it's great. And the nice thing about this is that he's taking this extra money not to like totally build it from scratch. He actually just needs this extra thing to redo the hinges so they're a little bit more versatile. And I like his background on there. He had another product that was actually on the show Shark Tank.
huh?
I don't watch the show, but I know it's a great place for entrepreneurs to kind of pitch their ideas and help the product be successful. So he's had the experience of pushing a product through and everything.
Yeah.
So he really just needs that fund to get that initial order, which is one thing that I look for successful projects is those companies that have everything ready to go and just need that little push to get everything rolling and going. So that's why it is a track for the I-90 glasses.
And this,
Right there.
I mean, it's not doing too bad. 13 backers in a day, and it seems like it's on its way for
Yep.
a 45-day run. Yeah,
Yep.
not bad.
On there. All right, Drew. So I am going to throw it to you for this next project because you know more about it than I
But
do.
I know lots about it. This next project is one that I'm pretty involved in. So I guess you'd almost call this. Am I shilling? Am I like totally pimping out my own project?
Isn't the rule of journalism as long as you disclose your conflict of interest, it's okay?
There you go. So there it is. Here's my conflict. I actually front the video for this project, and I created the video for this project. It is a project for the 3D printing company that I've been consulting with all summer, and I attempted and I did consult with them on this Kickstarter quite a bit because, well, I pretend to have a pretty good working knowledge of Kickstarter, how it works, and what's going to go. So I tried to kind of walk them through it, but somebody else took the lead, and the whole team kind of worked on it. And I just did like my part was the video, and I put in my 2 cents when I could. So project wise, we we made we're a 3D printing company, and we've been making little things here and there as we get ready to launch. We have a great website that's going to take another month to finish up, but we thought, what if we could get some of these projects and products that people have really liked on our social networks out to the people. One of them that did really well were these dinosaurs, steampunk-ish dinosaurs. So we basically had one of our designers that was trying to one up somebody else. It was actually kind of funny. One of the first designers, she made a skull. You probably saw it. It was a Mandelbrot skull that had gears that rotated, and I thought it was pretty cool. The boss was kind of like, nobody's gonna buy it, but it's cool. So then Kyle, this other designer, said, well, what about this idea? So he made a dinosaur, a T-Rex, and he put a bunch of gears and like a steam shovel mouth and kind of designed it. We printed it. Looks very cool. And then we put it on our social networks, and it blew up. I mean, people loved it. They were retweeting it, Facebook sharing it and commenting and liking it, and it did really, really well. And so after a couple of weeks, he did another one, and we decided, what if we could have a whole set of these? And that's where they kind of drew this idea out for a Kickstarter project. So basically, the project is help us complete the set. We want to have 7 dinosaurs and 7 dragons that are fully designed, but we don't have the resources to get that done. And since we don't have the resources to finish up our complete set, we'd have to pull Kyle off and put him back into the other stuff that we need him to do. So we decided to take it to Kickstarter and see if we could find basically validate the reaction that we saw on Kickstarter. The reaction we saw on Facebook and Twitter. Can we get that to happen here on Kickstarter and actually ship some of these out? That was kind of our goal. I don't know what else I can tell you about it. It's exciting. I tell you, the funds are going to go to keeping Kyle in the design process for this. You see some of his sketches if you scroll down in the page. You see some of his sketches. Some of these, by this point, I think he's actually printed that skeleton dinosaur, or sorry, skeleton dragon. It's amazing. It looks really cool. Um, and others, I think he's still kind of sketching out and getting ideas for. So we're hoping that this Kickstarter moves forward so that he can finish this. Otherwise, he's got to go back to work on some other stuff because that's where we need him.
'Cause
If
that's
we
where
get funds.
that's where the boss is paying him the money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what it came down to. It was like, all right, this is cool, it's doing well, but in order for it to keep running, we need the materials, and we're gonna need to basically pay Kyle off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you look at, you've probably been showing some of those pictures, and really the only one that you can see really good is the dragon.
Yeah, and I love all of these. You see the sketch on the screen right now, and then let me pull up the
Skeleton's gonna be awesome. It looks
yeah.
really good.
This is the dragon right here. And I love it because that's all one piece that people don't
Yep.
realize is that you started out with nothing, and that
How
is literally just one piece right there.
I mean, to me, 3D printing is just fascinating. The different printers have different styles and different processes, but so fascinating that that guy comes out of a tub of powder. It's almost like you were, uh, a paleontologist unearthing something because you vacuum out the powder and he's left behind, and then you dust him off with the same tools you dust off dinosaur bones with, and then you dip him in glue.
Oh, that
It's
I
awesome.
just thought of the great idea. You should have just shipped one straight out of the printer where somebody has to like
Oh,
dust their way through. That would have been awesome.
they're very fragile at that point. They actually harden a lot after they get tipped. Are you scrolling down to the minis and the micros?
Yeah, the clear acrylic
Yeah.
ones, I think.
So they're resin, kind of
Yeah, resin.
plastic, totally paintable, totally like do whatever you want with them. Um, we can make those a lot smaller because they're not as fragile. Those 1 inch ones are just babies; they're just tiny, and we put those in there because we thought these are really cool. But the people that are really into this type of thing, we've noticed, um, don't have $150 to grab a 9 inch one. So we put in these really small ones because we can print them that small, and they would look good on your just sitting on the top of your computer as a decor near your TV or something. So
Yeah, and those would probably be good like figures for D&D and
oh
whatnot. You
yeah,
just pull out one of these things and they're like, "Rawr."
yep, great for tabletop games and that kind of thing because they're just perfect size. So we plan to have 7 and 7, and we have a whole set level where you can buy a set of all of them. Anyway, that's the project. It's definitely a back for me because I really love dragons. Um, like I said, they really did a lot of this, and they would ask me questions like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" I read through all the content before we kind of went through the approval process, and I was kind of frightful. I was kind of afraid that we weren't going to be approved, um, just because I've seen a lot of decent projects that had a lot more functionality, I guess. And to me, I thought it was a strong push for us to say this was a design project, help us design. So when they approved it early this week, we said, let's fire it off, let's make it happen. So we're very early. We just pretty much launched it yesterday, and I would love to see it grow. But like I said, I'm vested.
Yeah, I'll put a disclaimer too because Drew gave me a sneak peek and
I did.
I gave him a couple thoughts too on it. So
That's
I did see behind it, and it kind of gives you a whole different kind of view on it because you see all these polished products and everything, and then you kind of go to the other side where people are kind of putting it together, and you're like, this there just seems like to be a feel of it that is totally different on there, and it's kind of really interesting experience.
so coming up someday. You'll have uh, the KickCast consulting firm.
Yeah,
We can
that
help you with your project.
will help you with your project, or one day I'll get around to doing my own crowdfunding thing. Help me fund the ktdata.net studios, and we'll
There you go.
build
There you
out
go.
our own studio. And then
Oh
I'll
yeah.
be like, Drew, I need cheap labor. Do you have cheap labor? And you'll be like, yes.
Yes. Yes, indeed. No, I don't know. I think this was fun to see it go from the back end because, like I said, I didn't, there were designers and writers working on it, and I was kind of consulting, and my job was really just the video. But um, yeah, I think there's something to learn from building up something like this. I hope it does well. I certainly expect it to fund. I'm very optimistic that it's
Mhm.
going to hit its mark, but I'm just
Yeah.
optimistic.
Yeah, so I'll do the asterisk back too because I'm gonna go back it. And I have, and the thing that sold me, I have to say, the guy on the video, like, he looks amazing on there. You know, it's just that's what sold me over right there.
Which guy? Oh, this guy. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, this guy with
yeah,
the
yeah,
steampunk shirt and yeah,
yeah.
yep,
I'm like, that guy's awesome. That's a
yeah,
winner right there. So
yep. I did my best. I did my best. We wrote several scripts, and I was like, how do we make this like really have a story and feel good? And it worked, and I'm dang good looking. So hey,
yeah, that's why
all right,
that's why we have you on the show.
that's right. That's what I when we talked about that earlier. If we could just get a little bit more draw, it's me.
I know. One of these days, I'm just gonna like go sit behind the board. We'll have a girl here. We'll have you here. I don't have to worry about anything else ever again.
Oh, I gotta throw a hat tip. The very end, that hokiest part of the whole video, where I hold them up and say these guys are gonna be extinct and they disappear. That was your idea. that was totally KT's bit.
Well,
So.
well, it's better than telling you to put a star wipe right there.
Was that your secondary?
That was my secondary. Like, let's put a star wipe right there.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, I will jump off this bandwagon. I think it's a great project. I really love 3D printing. I think it is going to change a lot of things. We have like 12 printers in house, and they are simply amazing what they can make. I think this is a really cool way to get cool things into people's hands that have come from nothing.
Yeah, and you see 3D printers all the time on crowdfunding sites now. It's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's true. It's true. We did a local story. Local news did a story on us, and half the comments were confused because they thought we were a startup company building 3D printers because there's so many Kickstarter type projects building 3D printers. And we're like, no, we are 3D printing.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about that. Just
That's
design
right.
it. We'll make it.
We'll buy the printers. All right, so that's enough of that. I
All right.
think it's great, and I can't wait to see all of you back it. So jump on there, grab yourself a little mini, support the project. We're excited to see the project complete. He's got some cool ones. We have some cool stretch goals too. Obviously, we've got plans for like 40 of these, but we've got to get some momentum going.
Yeah.
So help us drive that.
And all of this is helping Kyle, not helping feed your little girls, right?
Yeah, I don't really get anything out of
Yeah.
this, other than a pat on the back when they go, "Hey, Drew knew what he was talking about. Where'd he go?"
Else, I'd tell you, bring your little girls on. We'll bring in the cute factor too on that.
That's right. Get my kids. Yeah, I'll wake them up and they'll be like, "Dad, what are we doing? I'm using you. Get over here."
All right, so Drew, this is one thing that I am terrible at, especially if any of you guys know what I eat for lunch normally. Is so one of the things is they tell you to drink what is it, 8 ounce glasses of water a day.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's,
I am terrible at keeping track of that kind of thing.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, so our next project right here is actually called the Blue Fit bottle, and it is actually a interesting pair because there's you've heard the joke, right? Just add Bluetooth to it; it'll make it everything cooler.
Right,
Well,
right.
this is actually a water bottle that has Bluetooth
I
onto
love
it.
this. I love this.
Yeah, so the Bluetooth bottle, if I can switch to the right window, is a oops, that didn't do it. It is a water bottle that actually has Bluetooth on it, and it will give you the switch. And so it keeps track of how much water you're drinking, and it will alert you. And what's really cool is there's lights built into the bottle that will change as you progress through and drink more water on
That's
there.
amazing.
So it's really really cool, and it syncs up to your phone. So what you can do is in the app put in your height, your weight, normal health kind of things, and it'll calculate how much water you need to drink in a day to stay properly hydrated. And it will send that to the bottle, and the bottle will just kind of let you know, if you haven't been drinking a lot of water, it'll change colors or start flashing colors, or it'll even make a sound. So you're like, oh crap, I should probably take a sip of water right there. And so it's a 32-ounce glass bottle, so it doesn't have all those weird plasticky chemicals that everybody's worried about that you're
Oh,
gonna
this is glass.
get. Yeah, it's a glass bottle, dishwasher safe too. That actually means something totally different in my house because when it says dishwasher safe, it means I can wash it versus the machine.
Right. You consulted and dishwasher.
Yeah. And on there, it also has a USB port to of course charge it, and it lasts about a week, almost 2 weeks, right there, 7 to 10 days on there. So that's really good. I've discovered, especially with my Pebble Watch, I hate recharging things every day. So having something that I only need to do once a week is awesome. on there, and it has this cool app that keeps track of stuff. And of course, you can tweet it out saying, "Yeah, I drank all the water that I needed today," and all that cool stuff right there.
That's something that I would actually tweet out. Like, there's a lot of things that I have that let you tweet my exercise goals or whatever.
Yeah.
This is one that I actually would probably share because
I'm getting the feeling if you got the tweeting scale, you'd tweet out too every time you weighed yourself.
okay, I might because I would be like, "Hey, look at this! I just ate 10 hamburgers and I'm still 145 and no muscle weight anyway. I'm a pansy anyway."
I love this idea right there, and it's simple. Like that's kind of been a theme today is these kind of simple inventions that seem like no brainers, and I just love this idea. This is definitely a back for me because I'll be honest with you, I drink soda mostly, especially since our office has a soda machine now.
Oh wow!
This is bad, but maybe one of these days when I consider changing and having something people call a healthy lifestyle, I will need something like this because I will not remember the last time I'll have taken a drink of water or anything. Because I get into those moods where I'm like work, 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 and time just flies and I have no idea what's going on, and I'm not the greatest person to take care of myself in those situations.
But if your bottle was making noises and lighting up, I think you would think of it more often and jump on it.
Oh yeah, if it was glowing, it would annoy me because it would gamify this. Where it's like,
Yes.
it's not the right color. It needs to be this color. I gotta get it to that color.
Yes.
And that forced me to start drinking water. It's like, all right, I got to drink water. And then the app also has a ability to manually add in water too if you're drinking out of a water fountain or something on there. But it's important to stay hydrated. I know it's important. I'm just terrible at following my own advice. Because even being slightly hydrated will cause you to lose focus and whatnot on there, and just make you feel all great and lose weight and be healthy and all that stuff. And maybe I'll be a sportsman and play the sports ball or something like that.
I absolutely love this. I think it's fantastic, and I think that I'm looking at it right now, trying to figure out how I can work this into my backing schedule. 150,000 is a big goal, but this is a massive project, and I don't know.
Yeah, and it's the electronics in it is not cheap either.
Right, right. I mean, this is big. I'm definitely backing this. I love the idea, and I love being able to keep up with water. It is something that my sweet, sweet wife is constantly reminding me about. Hey, did you drink enough water today? Did you even have lunch today? So this is something that I would definitely do. And I'm like you said, the gamify. I would love to have a water bottle that lit up and made noises.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna get one just because of that. And, like I gotta do it. See, Drew, if we both do it, we can have a competition and just like first one to tweet out they drank
I hit my
water.
quota. 9 a.m. I drank my 84 or whatever,
I'm like,
64 ounces.
what?
I'm going in right now. I'm backing it as we speak. This is fantastic.
Yep.
I love it.
All
I
right.
love it.
And that is the Bluefit bottle right there. Drew, that's another show. Like this
Wow.
time goes by way, way too quick.
I yapped way too much this time, but yes,
Yeah.
it was way too quick.
No, that's what I enjoy. I like seeing you because you're a good hour and a half away from where I am. Actually, longer now.
Far, yeah.
So we don't get to see each other in person. So at least we get to see each other over the interwebs.
It's virtual manifest.
And then I know you've already kind of pimped the White Clouds thing, but I highly suggest anybody who's doing video, especially you guys looking to make Kickstarter videos,
Yes.
check out Drew's YouTube channel, youtube.com/night20. He lists it for his class, but hey, you get it.
It's free.
He's not going to stop you, and it's
That's right.
nothing like getting free education. I love watching them. They're great tips. Some of them's kind of more specific to what he has over there, but other things, amazing, awesome, awesome ideas. And he says like cool things like shake it like a thermometer and whatnot, and I love it.
I do have a little bit of fun with them. In fact, every time I go into class, somebody will be like, "Okay, so we watched a 20-minute video. It was semi-entertaining." And I was like, "You know what's great? I know my audience, and you have to watch it." So, so I'm not there to make it all flashy and fun, but I did have some fun with these for sure.
So and it's excellent. I watch them all the time too. So and then I remember, oh, I didn't do that last time I went out shooting. Crap.
That's good. That's good. And some of this stuff is so basic that it is one of those things that's like, okay, if you can remember it each time, you're getting better.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check that out. And make sure all you guys check out ktdata.net. Guess what, Drew? October, KickCast, 1 year. Right there.
Wow. Wow. 25 episodes.
That's nuts, right?
That's way nuts.
Yeah. And what I'm doing is people are going to, have contests and you can win stuff. Like I have a Yukio print that we did in one of our beta episodes of KickCast.
Oh, you're giving it away?
That is going to go to one lucky winner, and I have baconaise or mayonnaise, not baconaise, mayonnaise coming to me to get shipped out to other people, and I have other cool things like Iron Man 3D glasses and posters and whatnot that will be given out.
I will throw in one of our 3D dinosaurs or dragons, your choice.
Ooh.
Of the whatever size, I can't remember what this is, but somewhere in that medium size.
Fancy.
$40, $50. I'll throw it in.
Wow. So, you guys can win stuff. So make sure you guys keep an eye. I'm going to get that contest all set up and published in the next few days.
Awesome.
And you guys will, have fun. Like,
enter to win.
I hope you guys all win something. So make sure you guys check out ktdata.net if you want to share a project or anything. I mean, Drew shared a project today. Send it in, kickcast@ktdata.net, or leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast, or on Twitter @kickcast, or on Google+, plus.kickcast.net. We try to be as available as possible. And I always forget Pinterest on there.
We have a Pinterest?
We have a board.
That's awesome. I'm going to pin some stuff to our board.
Yeah, so it's something on pinterest.com/ktdata.net. I can't say I'm an expert in that network. Of course, you can watch live. I know Aperture Science and LaserNorm, they're watching right now. You can watch us live at live.kickcast.net. And our next recording is going to be October 15th, 2013. So keep an eye on that for all the goodness right there.
Be there or be a spare.
All right, Drew. Thank you again for being here.
You.
I know you're a busy man. Thank you guys in the chat room. You guys are awesome. Thank you, everybody, for who watches/listens after the fact, too. You guys are awesome. I love you all, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Coming up on this episode of the KickCast, read the long line. So sit back and relax. It's a kick.